today.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you're here. All right. Let me X this out. And I'm gonna mute this as soon as it comes on.
Today.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, Welcome out there in YouTube land. Thank you for tuning in. I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat. Let's go away from there. All right. But welcome to another Saucy Saturday with me, Alethea. And I'm going to be going over support, resistance, trend lines, and pullbacks. We're going to the basics. So get ready. Uh, so the first thing that I do when I'm going to do a trading session is I check the news, and I check the news on forexfactory.com, right? And that's going to tell me in a series of folders what I should not be trading, and it lets me know that everything else is possible. Now it's Saturday. When it comes to trading Forex, the markets are closed at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday evening. It's not going to reopen until Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's almost tomorrow. I get excited for Sundays because it's another opportunity to get into the market. So since the market is closed, more often than not, you won't see any news. So here it is, the date, Saturday, February 12th, we see nothing. But let's hit more and we'll see from Sunday at 4:30 p.m., we start to see things happening. Now, we're looking at things with a series of folders with different colors. If there's a gray folder, that's a bank holiday for whatever country that currency is in. So there's not much activity from those banks, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't trade it because the Forex market is global. So we can trade it even if it's a bank holiday, and a gray folder doesn't bother me. But we have the date to the left, whatever time of day it is here, and then currencies and the impact. Now, a yellow folder is low impact, right? An orange folder is medium impact, and the red folder is high impact. So if I see a red folder when I'm about to trade, I typically sit down for an hour if I'm going to trade. So if in that hour that I'm trading, I see a red folder, I'm going to avoid that currency. Now, if I see an orange folder during the time that I'm going to trade, if I don't avoid that currency, I can reduce my risk. So I typically risk 1%. So I would drop my risk down to 0.5% when I see an orange folder. Now, that's it. Red folder, the plague, right? Yellow folder, I'll trade. Orange, I'll reduce my risk. Red folder, I'm not trading it whatsoever. Do we have that clear? Drop a 1 in the chat if we understand. Nobody understands? Okay, awesome. Perfect. All right. So let's just pretend that it is Monday and it's 11 o'clock and we're about to trade, right? It's 11 o'clock. We see that there's a red folder on the US dollar. At 11:15, there's an orange folder on the euro. With things being like that, I would actually just not even bother trading the euro either. Because what I found is that when there's a red folder, or even if there's an orange folder, if it's a group of folders on the US dollar, it tends to affect everything. So seeing a red folder and the orange folder on the euro, I would just not trade the euro or the US dollar. My trading partner, Ty, she's not on the call today, but her philosophy, if there's a folder, she's not trading it. The only folder that she will trade is a gray folder because it's a bank holiday. It's not going to really affect anything. But yellow, orange, red, she's just going to avoid that currency for an hour before and then hour after, right? So once we decide what we're not going to trade, we need to figure out what we will trade. And to do that, I will go to finviz.com, and that's where I'm going to see what the volume is looking like, right? Now, this is what I pay attention to, this bar at the bottom here. To the far left, we have the strongest currency. To the far right, we have the weakest currency and everything in between. So I'm always looking for the greatest divide in order to take my trades. So I want to look for something far left, far right, if possible. And we do have a currency pairing of Euro JPY. So we're either going to buy or sell. If you're going to buy, that means you're looking for price to go up. If you're going to sell, you're looking for price to go down. Now, for price to go up, the first currency or the base needs to be stronger than the second currency or the quote. When the base is stronger than the quote, we look for buys, we look for calls, we look for bullish ideas. On the flip side, if currency one is weaker than currency two, we're looking for price to go down. We're looking for sells. We're looking for a bearish move. Does everybody have that? Drop a 222 in the chat if you've got that. Perfect. 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 Okay, awesome. So looking at this, Euro JPY is a currency pair that is traded, right? So Euro is the currency one, that's the base. Is it stronger than JPY? Amama, is the Euro stronger than the Japanese? Looking at this chart right here.
No.
No, it is not. So that means currency one, the base, the euro, is weaker than currency two, the Japanese yen. So we're looking for sells, right? We're looking for price to go down. We're looking for bearish ideas. All right. So I want to look at one sell. I want to look at one buy. The only buy that I see is USD CAD, where the first currency, being the US dollar, is actually to the left of Canadian dollar. So USD CAD, USD currency one as the base is stronger than currency two, CAD, the quote. So we look at Euro JPY and we look at USD CAD. And understand that the market is closed right now. So this is all just, educational purposes. We're not going to see any movement in the market. It's just to demonstrate, right? So once we know what we're going to look at, and I just choose two, you don't want to be all over the place looking at a million different currency pairs. You want to choose one or two currency pairs, and you do your analysis, you wait for your setup. Now, not only will I look at Finviz, I will also look at livecharts.co.uk, and this is gonna give me the strength in bars. And the more bars, the stronger the currency. We were looking at Euro JPY. Euro being the weakest, and we see it only has one bar, right? JPY, here it says JPY is the strongest, but the Swiss franc, CHF, appears to be strongest here. But like I said, the market's closed. There's no movement. This has been like this since Friday at 5 p.m. The market closed. It's not gonna move. Okay. So once we know what we want to trade, then we're going to go to Trading View to do the analysis, right? Trading View is a website which is free to use. There is a paid version, but you don't have to pay for it. You can do the free version. The paid version gives you added features. So as you become a more seasoned trader, you may want to invest and up things, and pay for that. Trading View, to create an account, it's as simple as using your Google credentials. Let me get rid of these things. Okay. Let me also get rid of this. All right, so here we're looking at a chart. And I'm not going to go into how to set up Trading View. I have a video about that. If you really want to see that, feel free to go check that out. I actually have it on my Twitterholic channel. If you go over to my Twitter, you'll see that video. My Twitterholic YouTube channel, sorry, you'll see that video, right? So now we're going to take a look at support and resistance. So let's move this over here so we have a clean space. All right, so price moves in three ways. It moves up, and when it's moving up, they say it's an uptrend, right? It's price moving up. When price is moving down, it's a downtrend. But then price also can move sideways. And when it's moving sideways, it's going like that. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. Delete that. Let's use this. It's going up, down. Okay. So today we're going to focus more on the uptrend. But when price is moving sideways like this, does anybody know what it's called? We know when it's moving up, it's an uptrend. When it's moving down, it's a downtrend. What's it called when it's just moving up and down within a specified area? Who can answer that?
Consolidation.
Consolidation.
Yes, mom. Consolidation. Perfect. So yes, when it's moving up and down, it's in consolidation. Consolidation. Now, there's this saying, trade with the trend is your friend. So in an uptrend, you want to buy the market. In a downtrend, you want to sell the market. When it's in consolidation, and people, once they start trading a little bit more, they'll take this chance. You can buy when it's down at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, sell at the top. And there's a name for these areas. Does anybody know what the bottom line is called? Who can tell me what the bottom line is called?
Is it not support?
Exactly. It's called support or the floor, right?
Mm.
Perfect. At the bottom, it's support or the floor. Let's move this up here. And up here, what's it called at the top?
Resistance.
Fence or the roof.
Or the roof. Exactly. Perfect. Mama and Haley. Awesome. Yes. So we're going to talk about uptrend mainly this week, right? So now I'm going to delete all of this stuff. But before I delete it, if anybody needs to take a screenshot, go ahead and take a screenshot so you can look this over later on. Uptrend, downtrend, consolidation, support, resistance. Okay. Let's remove. So when we're in an uptrend, I know that I just drew a straight line going up, but that's not how things move. It's gonna move like this. All right. So when it's moving like that, yeah, it would be awesome to get in down here and ride it all the way up. But what happens if you miss this entry? What do you do? Right?
Wait
If
for
you
the pullback.
Yes, exactly. If you miss this entry, you don't want to get in up here. All right, let's see. Want to get in here. Or here. Or here. This is where you want to get in. When it's here, it's too late, right? Imagine you get into a trade. Let's see, we have a question. Why is it called the pullback? Pullback because it's here and we want price to come back down. So that's why it's like pulling back to continue going up. So we just call it a pullback. Or what's another thing that you can call it aside from pullback? Does anybody know another word that can be used? Let's see. The dip. That's what we hear on social media. Buy the dip. Yes, yes, that's another word. Good. The word I was looking for was retest, right? See, you put your level of resistance here, right? Down here, that would be support. This is support. This is resistance. It's support here. It's resistance here, right? and so on and so on. Let me change that color to red. Did I say red while picking green? See with me, guys.
So
Right.
it's higher highs and higher lows.
Yes. Yes, I'm about to go into that.
Oh,
So
sorry.
yes, but I'm glad to. So it seems like you've been doing your homework then, right? You've been doing your homework, so that's good, right? So these areas that I marked, I'll go ahead and mark this as well. So when you're looking at the chart, you have to figure out, is it in an uptrend or a downtrend? And the way that you figure that out is by seeing if things are going higher. So you get in here. So here we have the HH. Oh, let's move it. Oh, okay, right there. And here,
Is there higher low?
hold on. HL. Okay. All right. So this is higher than this, right? Let's clone this. Let's see. Clone. Hello. Let's clone this. Clone. Higher high. Clone. Higher high. Okay. And actually, let's clone this. Oh. Let's drop this right here. All right. So to know that we're in an uptrend, once you're here, if we see the high, the next high is here, that's a higher high. With the pullback or the dip, Gabe, as long as it doesn't go all the way back to the bottom or the floor or the support, that's a higher low because it's higher than this previous low, right? And then the next high, it's higher than this last high. So it's a higher high, right? And then this next dip, it doesn't come down to this last one. So it's a higher low, higher high, higher low, right? So that's how you know you're in an uptrend. Now, eventually, things will go down. When that's going to happen, you may see things come down here. It will come down here. It'll come down here, right? Oh. So when that happens, is this still an uptrend?
No, it's a dark trend.
Why is it a downtrend?
Because there is a trend reversal.
Mm-hmm.
Trend has pattern and you can see the lower lows and the lower highs.
Okay. So this was a high. This is another high, but it's lower than the previous high. So it's a lower high, right? So lower high. Okay. And let's clone this. Ah. So here again we have a lower high, right? And what is this going to be? A lower low, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we put that here. Lower low. We move this up a little bit. Clone that. Drop that down here. Clone that. Oh. And drop that down here. Right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And if this were to come back up, lower high. So, and then you see the reversal, head and shoulder,
support.
right? So one thing that I've learned when dealing with an uptrend, you want to buy the ceiling of an uptrend. I know that there are people who they trade this way, right? They trade the consolidation, but we don't want to trade the consolidation. We want to wait for it to break out, retest, and continue up. That's what we want to do. It's either going to do that or it's going to break down here, retest, and keep going to the bottom. Either way, we just got to wait. We just got to wait and see what it's going to do. When it's in consolidation, we're waiting to either see it break to the upside and we wait for the retest to continue going up, or we're waiting on it to break to the downside. And it could happen this way too, like just go from here, break down, retest, and keep going. You know, that's what we're waiting on. We never assume what the market is going to do. We know that it's one or two things that can happen. When it's in consolidation, it's either going to break to the upside or the downside, but we don't know.
Market is undecisive.
The market is going to do what it wants to do, right? And we're just going to react after it makes its decision of what it's going to do. You know, in life, I like to be proactive, you know, guess, make assumptions and, you know, plan for it. With the market, you can't be proactive. You can't be like, okay, as soon as it goes here, I'm gonna do. No, you have to wait. Let it make its move, and then you hitch a ride along the way. Is everybody following me so far?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So that is consolidation, then breakout,
A break
retest,
and
break.
okay. Yes. So let's delete. Let's delete. Delete. All right. So consolidation will have people buying the floor and selling the ceiling. But what you want to focus on as a new trader is buying the ceiling, following the trend. So if it's an uptrend, you want to buy the ceiling. I know that you may hear on social media all over, you hear buy the floor, buy the floor. But you want to think about buying the ceiling. So let's look at this, right? Right here, this is the floor, this is the ceiling, right? So it came here, takes a dip, pull back, retest, it breaks through. So when it comes back here, the ceiling is now the floor, right? So you want to buy at the ceiling because now the ceiling is actually the floor. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Support turn to resistance. Resistance turn to support.
So it makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Gabe, does that make sense to you? Let's see. Wow, great information. Awesome. Glad you're getting that. Yeah. So yeah, because when you hear buy the floor, you may think you have to, it has to be, no, you're buying the ceiling, you buy the ceilings of an uptrend, right? And on the flip side, when it's a downtrend, you sell in the floor. So just always think buy the ceiling of an uptrend. Now let's look and see if we can see it. We can see what I'm talking about here. All right. Um, what had we seen? Euro JPY. I know it's not, there's no movement, but yeah, let's take a look and see if we can see that. Ooh, that's crazy right there. That
Oh
means
wow.
there had to have been some news,
Wow.
but I didn't I took one trade um on Friday because Friday is not really a trading day for me, but I took one trade and cleared and I went about my day. Um but I saw that there was a lot of news on the US dollar. And remember, I said that when the US dollar has anything going on, it affects everything. So maybe that had something to do with this. But Euro JPY, we saw that it's in a, it's supposed to be a downtrend, right? Because Euro over here, uh, that's an insane looking downtrend, but it goes with what I was saying. Let's see on the day. Down crazy. That was crazy. So all day on Friday was a downtrend. So when I go from chart to chart, still looking at Euro, JPY, but different time frames. So each time frame, the candle represents that. So I have the watermark here so you can always know what I'm looking at. So Euro JPY 4 hour. So each candle takes 4 hours to form when you're looking at the 4 hour chart. On the month chart, each candle takes a month. So there are 15 days and 23 hours left in this candle. So looking from the monthly time frame, Euro JPY is in an uptrend. That's an uptrend. You see that, right? It's been going up since 2020. It's 2020, 2021. We're in 2022. It's been in an uptrend this whole time, right? So that means with Euro, I really want to look for buys when I do most of my trading. Um, on the weekly, also an uptrend, right? On the daily, yeah, we saw on Friday it tanked like crazy, but this is an uptrend. This is an uptrend still, it's still an uptrend. Maybe it broke out, but it's an uptrend. It came back to respect the area. It's an uptrend. On the 4 hour, we see it's an uptrend. It's just some crazy movement. And that's why this is a good lesson on what I was saying before, that the market is going to do whatever it wants to do. Yes, we are saying, okay, it's going to do this, we do that, but it just decided to go right through. So what this means is whenever you have a trade idea and it goes wrong, just let it go. Don't hold on. Don't um move your stop loss. Keep going, trying to see if it's gonna come back. Don't get married to anything. Just let it go and find another setup to trade in a different currency pair. Don't keep at it because that's how you lose money, right? Word of advice from experience. Right, look at that. It went straight through. So imagine if you were looking at it before any of this happened, right? Before this happened, you're looking at it, you put a trend line in, and you're like, okay, this is what's gonna happen, right? Right, it touch here, it touch here, touch here. Oh, it came back here. Like, okay, let me get in for a buy, right? Because we see it's been respecting that trend line all the time. And then it just goes right through and just keeps going down, you know? You don't want to get caught in something like that. So, I think what time is it now? 6:42. I think I dropped some knowledge. I know I'm happy to see that Amama, Miss Haley, Mom, you guys were able to answer questions. So you're learning stuff. Gabe, I'm happy that you're saying that you're getting some information. You know, keep plugging in, you'll get more, right? And this is just basic stuff. Like if you learn the basic stuff and then you work on a particular strategy that you love, you can go really far. Learning the skill of trading, it's really not that difficult once you really get into it. Um, the challenge is the mindset. The challenge is the mindset to know when to let go of a trade. Like when something like this happens, to know to let go, right? And live to trade another day. That's pretty much it. But I am going to say goodbye to the people out in YouTube land. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week, Saturday, for another Saucy Saturday. On Wednesday, I have the Winning Wednesday session at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard if you want to come join us there. But thank you. Like, subscribe, comment, share.